Okay, so you know how we love digging into the interesting stuff you guys send us?
Yeah.
Well, this one is a doozy, a resume, but not just ANY resume.
Oh.
It's for a civil engineer from Nigeria named Friday Faith Ekwer.
Okay, the name alone has me intrigued.
Right, Friday Faith. Okay, but it's more than just that. This resume is like a window into engineering in a whole different part of the world.
So we're taking a deep dive into the life of Friday Faith Ekwer.
Exactly. Let's see what we can uncover. So first things first, the basics. We've got a 26-year-old civil engineer from Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria.
Got it.
Now, that name, Friday Faith, I mean, come on.
Eh,
You got to wonder about the story there, right?
Definitely unique, yeah. Not a name you forget easily.
All right, so let's map out Friday's journey. Right out of school, he's getting hands-on training at Savrama Global. Plumbing, tiling, the works.
Hands-on experience from the get-go.
But here's the thing. He goes back to Savrama Global years later, specifically for CAD training.
That's interesting. Shows real commitment to learning, to keeping his skills sharp.
Right. Like he knew exactly what he needed to learn to stay ahead of the game. And speaking of skills, Friday gets his higher national diploma in civil engineering from Federal Polytechnic Nikki.
Okay.
Now, I gotta admit, that one's a bit new to me. What's the deal with a higher national diploma? How does that work in Nigeria?
Good question. So it's a bit different than what you might be used to. Think of it like a vocational degree. It's super focused on the practical stuff, like actually being able to do the work.
Ah, so less theory, more hands-on application.
Exactly. In some places, it might be similar to an associate's degree, but in Nigeria, it's highly respected. It opens doors to all kinds of technical jobs.
So it's all about being able to hit the ground running, which makes sense when you look at Friday's experience.
Yeah.
But here's something I noticed, and it made me chuckle. He lists plumbing and tiling as separate skills, like bullet points.
Really?
Yeah. Now, is that normal over there? For a civil engineer to be doing plumbing and tiling?
You know, in some places, people specialize. But in a lot of parts of the world, especially developing economies, being multi-talented is essential.
You got to be adaptable.
Exactly. You wear many hats, you meet the needs of the community.
Okay, that totally makes sense.
No,
Yeah.
no.
And hey, maybe it gives him a unique perspective on how all those systems in a building work together.
Could be an advantage, for sure.
Now, it's clear this guy is not just learning, he's leading. President of his departmental association, state coordinator for the Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers Students Affiliate, all while still studying.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
That tells you something right there. We're not just talking technical skills. This is leadership, organization, communication, all the good stuff.
Exactly. It's that extra something that makes you stand out.
Big time.
Oh, and there's more. You ready for this? He lists effective listening as a skill on his resume.
Hold on. Effective listening.
Yep. Now, how often do you see that on a resume, especially for an engineer?
Not often. But you know what? It's actually so important. Think about it. You're an engineer. You got to understand what your clients actually need. You have to work closely with your team. If you don't listen well, projects can go sideways fast.
Yeah, you get misunderstandings,
Conflicts.
delays, cost overruns, the whole 9 yards. Good listening builds trust, leads to better outcomes. It's a huge EE skill, honestly.
All right. So we've got a skilled, experienced leader who actually listens.
Check, check, check.
What else can we learn about Friday from this resume? Here we go. Conferences.
Conferences, nice.
And not just any conferences. He's attending the National AGM for the Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers.
The AGM, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and get this, he even presented at one.
Presenting at the AGM is a significant accomplishment, especially at his age.
Talk about ambitious.
Absolutely.
And the title of his presentation is really interesting. Effectiveness of UV treatment for contaminated borehole water. That's pretty specific. What's the story there?
So water quality, it's a major issue in many parts of Nigeria. And borehole water, which a lot of people rely on, it's often contaminated.
So Friday's research on UV treatment, it suggests he's actively searching for ways to solve this problem.
He's not just talking the talk.
Nope. He's out there looking for solutions.
And UV treatment is actually a really effective way to disinfect water. Kills bacteria and viruses.
Exactly. So he's really focused on improving public health in his community.
It's amazing. From plumbing and tiling to presenting research on water treatment at a national conference. And this is just his resume. Imagine what other projects he's worked on.
Seriously, what's he up to now? What challenges is he tackling right now?
Knowing his skills, his experience, and his drive, I bet he's making a real impact on his community and on the future of engineering in Nigeria. It's exciting to think about.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It really does. And it's a great reminder that sometimes the most fascinating journeys start with a simple piece of paper.
You never know where it'll lead you.